friends, and the vegan zoodle time, that is zucchini noodle. It's a standard combination. That's what I now do as opposed to earlier times. Standard combinations instead of standard recipes. So standard combinations of main ingredients like zucchini, and that is the noodle recipe, that is a standard by itself. And then I begin to add certain ingredients. This is a classical combination in my kitchen. Zucchini noodles, I make the noodles in a moment, and red bell pepper. They are wonderful together. Green, the color inside is white, green and red, so beautiful. And then there's a little bit bitterness, a sweet bitterness in the zucchini, in the bell pepper, the red bell pepper. And the bitterness here is reflected in the green peel. And that makes it a connection, the bitterness. And then you have the sweetness of the bell pepper, sweet, bitter. And so I need a dressing now that balances this sweet bitter. It cannot be a dressing that is too bitter. That would make the whole thing, the whole flavor fall down, to say. But I have to balance the sweet bitterness. And that I will do usually with a little bit of creamy sourness. Now the other part of the main recipe, I have the classic pairing, here in this case zucchini and red bell pepper. And now I get a variety of dressings for this classic pairing. And that's how I make recipes now. I have classic pairings and vary them with the dressings, for example, with another ingredient. I will begin now with the dressing, as this is here the main part, adding to the classic pairing. So I have a cream that is made with macadamias. Macadamia by itself is another classic pairing, classic ingredient for dressings. You can take any nuts or seeds, cashews, macadamias, very simple. You can get hemp seeds, sunflower seeds. There are so many ways. But a handful of cashews, handful of macadamias in this case, has a very special flavor because macadamias are a little bit firmer and they have a little bit of savory flavor. As opposed to the cashews, they are also classic for a standard for a cream. They are more sweet. Macadamias are more savory. So I will add this to the zucchini bell pepper. And now I will have this creamy, fatty part and a sour part. And here I found that when I make just a cream with macadamias, I cannot take too much sourness. So this would be a quarter of a lemon, and that might already be too much. So I'll be very careful with the sourness. I take only an eighth part of a lemon here. I don't take everything. Yeah, that is important. If I take too much of the lemon for this cream, handful of macadamias, it might be overwhelming all the other flavors, and then the dressing is not okay. The dressing has to be, so to say, support the flavor of the main ingredients. It cannot be all dominating. In some exceptions, for example, the curry, I have a curry dressing that is so delicious you can eat it as a soup. You would eat that as a soup, almost. Of course, that can be a little bit more dominant. But if it is a cream, just to balance the main flavors of the ingredients, then it should be a little bit in the background, and too much lemon would ruin everything. So that is the simple story. So I begin with an eighth part of a lemon, and just a teaspoon of pepper and salt each. Yeah, not too much. Also, it's gentle. It is in the birthplace. It will be a chance to be. I want to have a macadamia cream. Yeah, it's a very simple recipe. And if you have only a few ingredients, like here macadamias, lemon, pepper and salt so far, then it's all about how much of each you take. I know these ingredients go well together, very nicely, but how much of each, that is the thing. So it's very easy to make a new recipe or to make a combination or put a dressing together. If you have a small amount of ingredients, you only have to care of how much of each. Yeah, that's the thing. So I begin with a half cup of water, not too much. I can always adjust later when I need some more. Just to make the blender work, the blades here has to be a little bit more water here, but not too much, as the dressing would be too thin. And when it's too thin, it's not so good for the zucchini noodles. They have a little bit a thicker creaminess because they release a little bit of water and they stand for a moment and then sit for a moment, and then the dressing would be too runny. Blend or dance. This is the first blending. I did not soak the macadamias. They're pretty firm, and if I do not soak them ahead of time, for a night or so, I have to make a second blending because then it gets really creamy. But then I'm soaking now for some minutes. And I check now the flavor. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No more lemon. So just a little bit salt and pepper, a small part of piece of lemon, and a handful of cashews, and then we have macadamias. Then we have the macadamia flavor, this wonderful nutty flavor, as a base of the dressing, and that's what I want. So let it sit for a moment while I make the zucchini noodles. Here's the zucchini noodle. Yeah, I washed it. All I need to do is cut a little bit here off this part to fit it into the zucchini spiralizer. A spiralizer. I show you my spiralizer. I have to take away the cutting board, because I need plain underground, so my spiralizer can be fitted with a little green feet here, with a little plastic feet, dummy feet, so I cannot move it now, because I have to use this wagon here. This is a wagon here, the zucchini is here firm in here, with the little teeth here, and then I can push the zucchini towards the blade of this spiralizer. Very, very simple tool. Very versatile. It's not expensive. This one is a good one. There are so many on the market. You can buy so many different spiralizers. Very helpful tool. This is a little bit a larger one for the kitchen, because you have a larger zucchini. Like this is a medium. It's maybe a little bit too big for a small hand spiralizer. And just cut here this to have a straight plane here to fit into the spiralizer. That's all I need to do. And then I fix it to the other side. Whoops. And then I put the bowl for the noodles, catch the noodles, in front of the spiralizer, and off we go. So it's firm to the ground, and then I can spiralize away. It seems to work, yeah. Sometimes the zucchini is too soft, overripe or so, it doesn't work. So make sure that the zucchini is in the perfect state. Then it is easy to spiralize it. And the one zucchini, the medium zucchini, is really perfect amount for myself to have a full meal. So the one zucchini, and zucchinis are super healthy. That's all that remains from the zucchini. Yeah, and you could eat that also. Yeah, it's very delicious. And the zucchini has an advantage. It has a special texture. It is a little bit spongy, yeah, like a sponge. So it can soak the dressing. And that's what noodles have to do. They have to be able to take in the dressing. That's what makes noodles so great. That's why the noodle makers, the traditional ones, they have all their secrets. Their secret noodle dough. Yeah, the zucchini makes it easy. Yeah, here's a little long. Yeah, see a nice portion for me. I put it now on the cutting board, and to make it into bite-sized pieces. That is easy. It takes just a cutting board and a chef knife and 2 or 3 cuts crosswise, and I have my bite-sized noodles. And if you want longer noodles, feel free. It is easier for me now to have it a little bit smaller. I show you now again the size of the noodles, see? One is a little bit larger, it doesn't matter, but I have it smaller now. That's what I wanted. So it's easy. So now the second ingredient, I already cut the half of red bell pepper into the similar size. Yeah, that makes it nicer. If they are similar sized, they go on top. Now I go to my dressing. Back to my dressing. Here is a green and white and red color. It's a beautiful base for a zucchini. It's a classic, as I said, and I always make different dressings to have more variety. And that's very important. So I will just blend that now a second time, and sit for a moment, and really creamy and smooth. Now it should be really smooth, and then the flavor of the macadamias will be really present. And that's what we want. We want to taste the ingredients, yeah, to enjoy their own flavor, and then combine these flavors. Yeah, that is the best way of cooking, I feel. Yeah? The easiest way and the directest way. Of course, you can always refine it, cook it, make it hot, and have a lot of ingredients. You can all do that, there's no problem, it's also good. But to learn how the ingredients feel, how they work in the body, how they play with each other, their flavors, their colors, it's easy to begin with the small number of ingredients. So I taste now this creamier one, let's see. That's what I want. So immediately when I taste this pure original flavor, and so small, so little ingredients, different, it tastes a little bit like, as I can put some other ingredients, nutmeg for example. It would be easy to a little bit nutmeg in there. It tastes almost like nutmeg. But I don't do that now. That would be for next time. What I do now is I add chives. Chives, a bunch of chives. That was my plan for today, to use these chives. I love them. They're a little bit like onion, but very fresh, like a green onion, but even fresher. I love the chives. And I cut them just in these small little sticks here, very small, on a cutting board, very simple. And I don't blend them because I want to have these little sticks. They are so nice. And if you blend them, they're very hot, like an onion. You cannot blend an onion, or very small amounts only. Then it is a whole different flavor. It begins to bite. If you have these chives just as whole pieces in the dressing, then you taste these whole pieces, and then you have a slight oniony flavor without having it too sharp, too hot. It's easy. That's why I like chives so much. They have this complex oniony flavor. It's a very complex flavor in the background of the onion. Also take dried onion. This is similar. It's different from fresh onion. Yeah? And then you have still this complex oniony flavor to enjoy and make a dish very full and complete. So here, it's a trick. Yeah. Here I see, just shake a little bit. I don't blend it anymore. That would be too much. And you see now I put it over you see now how creamy it is. It is nice and runny. And all I need to do is put this dressing over my noodles. A third part of these 3-part recipe. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I will toss it directly before I eat it, because when I toss it right now and I go on doing things in the kitchen before I eat, then the water from the zucchini will release into the dressing and might be a little watery, the whole thing. And that's why I toss it only directly before I eat it. And that's a good tip too. If you like, then you have a nicer dish. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. And the most important takeaway from today for me was just the smallest amount of lemon is enough, not too much. And same with the pepper and salt, a very small amount, just a plain teaspoon, not a heaping one, plain. And then you taste the full creaminess of the macadamia. Thanks for watching again. See you soon. You want to subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube? Yeah, that's very fine. Then you can have another recipe every single day. You can also like my video and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter.